Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance. No contribution with this video. I was, going through some Epstein videos this morning on YouTube. Came across this one. I got as far as there was a psychologist made a comment. I stopped. I'm like, you know what? This is a good opportunity, I think. Because it's not a very long video. It's a good opportunity, I think, based on what she said, and I think where this video is going. I think I'm going to be doing this a lot more. I see something, I'm going to jump on and do a video on it. Seen some pretty good results from it yesterday. So, here we go.
Set aside the shame and humiliation, but what trauma does to your brain is change it. And so if you have someone who's been sexually assaulted and they are living in a cave of suffering and they can't find their way out, you can't blame them for that. That's a medical, psychological problem.
A lot of the time being around older men just gives me flashbacks. It's just
So what the doctor was saying there is basically in a nutshell what most of us deal with on this channel who have been abused, not only sexually, but emotionally, physically by the sociopath, by the narcissist. How it's a prison for life. And you're going to hear, I think now, these victims of Epstein talking about the lifelong damage that dealing with demons like Epstein and the people who abused me, my mother, what it does to you and why a lot of us reject the world, hide from the world, regress from the world. This anger that we don't know what to do with.
just trauma that I didn't even knew I had until, I've worked through a lot of things through therapy and stuff like that. And you just don't even realize that going through something like that molds you to be how you are today. It was a very dark time in my life, but I just hope that basically he gets what prosecuted the way he should have been from the beginning.
What I thought was so little to my life has affected me so much. I've had children and I never tried. I can't have my breast touched. It brings back things. I've tried to breastfeed for the first time, my third child, last year, and it was the most excruciating and heartbreaking thing to not be able to do it because the pain was so intense. Then it brought back something that felt so stupid back then, that I thought had no relevance, and that if I told anybody, they'd be like, "You're a whore, you wanted money, why would you do that?" Like, nobody would understand. None of us talked about it after that. The friends, we never talked about stuff like that. I've been in therapy for over 10 years and I've never talked to my therapist about it.
I was always angry after that happened. I can remember punching holes in walls. There were some times where I would just slam my head onto something. My thing that I wanted to do was pick something up. I can remember the countertop at my parents' house. I was so upset. I just wanted to break it, and I ripped it off the countertop.
What were your parents saying at this time? Did they say, we need to get you to get help? Or
they're like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like,
How many of you sit like this when you're talking or even watching my videos? This uncomfortableness. I mean, I do it like a million times a day when you're thinking about these people and what happened, and this anger that you don't know what to do with. You just get fucking tired of it. You know, you're just sick of it. You just want it to fucking go away.
We need to get you to get help. Or
They're like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, I don't know.
Typical. And here's part of the problem here, because I'm not exactly sure the depths of her story, of how much her parents knew or didn't know. But let me tell you this, what is wrong with you when your kid is acting like that? That is boomer parents 101. They just don't want to know. They don't want to be engaged. They just want you to act normal. This is what it's like. This is what it was like, man. Growing up with boomer parents. The reason why she can't tell him, because she probably knows that her parents, like the last girl was saying, being blamed, her parents probably blame her. The anger is because, for some reason, she can't tell her parents what the truth is. And she doesn't know why, when the reason is why is because she's been observing her parents' behavior at that point for 16 years and they've been fucking unengaged. They just want her to shut up and act normal. They don't really want to know what the problem is. And I think if she knows subconsciously, if she tells her parents what the problem really was, they'd have blamed her for it.
I just want to fucking die. I just want to go away. I don't know what's wrong with me. I want to be somewhere else. I don't know what's wrong. And then they're like, you want to kill yourself? And I'm like, I don't know. I just don't want to be angry anymore. I don't know why I'm...
There it is. Exactly. You just want it to be over. And unfortunately, it's never over. It's never over. And when you're raised by the generation she was raised by, I was raised, it's like you're dealing with these soulless, selfish, narcissistic sociopaths who by and large don't care if their kids got a soul because it was going to affect their life at the time. Yeah, maybe now they'll feign, oh my God, my poor baby, because even they'll still gain some recognition from it or pity from it, because that's just how that whole generation is. How do you not know? How do you not know your 14-year-old or your 16-year-old is off with fucking a billionaire flying? How do you not know? I don't buy it that these parents didn't know. I don't know. Listen, man, it's Florida, and it is a fuck. If you're born here and raised here and going through the school system here, it's fucked up here. It's fucked up like that. It's nothing to have some of these mothers passing off their underage daughters for their side dick or whatever. It happens all the fucking time down here. All the time.
I'm so mad. And I was just thinking to myself, nobody is going to want to be with me again for the rest of my life.
And again, here it is. Here it is, because so young this happened to her, and she's thinking the only reason why this billionaire wanted after me is my only value is sex and is my vagina, and now I'm valueless because nobody's gonna want me. And she doesn't even have the understanding to put it together that she's a victim, she's been abused, and her parents are out to fucking lunch. Her parents were out to lunch, and they didn't care because they were probably typical boomers.
I'm gonna have to explain this for the rest of my life to anybody that I would really want to be with. And so it was awful.
You're just thrown into a world that you don't understand, and you
don't know how to, you're screaming on the inside and you don't know how to let it come out. And you just become this numb figure who refuses to feel and refuses to speak and refuses, all you do is obey. That's it.
Because it's probably easier, right? Than confronting.
It's much easier than ever talking about it. It takes a long time to start the healing process. I mean, I will never heal. There are pieces from me that can never be put back together. I mean, it took me having a
pieces that'll never be put back together. And if you followed my channel for any period of time, you know my broken plate theory. You can take a plate and you can break it, and you break it. You can glue it back together with the greatest glue, epoxies, or whatever you want. But that plate will never be the same. It'll never be as strong as it was before it was broken. So you could take your most favorite food in the world, okay? Your favorite meal, you can eat it every day, all day. But you try to eat it off that broken plate, and it loses its value. That's your life. So that's why even during good times, you had some good times, okay? Why can't you be happy? Why can't you be happy? Well, because all these good times are already piled onto the plate that's already been smashed years ago. And no matter what you do to that plate, it'll never be the same. Never. That's what this is. I mean, that's really the basis of my whole channel in the first place. Once you're broken, and broken is broken, it doesn't matter if you break it in half or break it into a million little pieces. Broken is broken, and it's never going to be the same. And it doesn't matter all the good memories or all the good food or your favorite this or that piled on top of a broken plate. It's just not the same. That's what people who haven't had to experience this will never understand. They will never understand what it's like to be truly broken.
Daughter, and looking at this beautiful, young, innocent baby to say, I want to speak out about it now. You know, if we can make that point across, that doesn't matter how rich you are, it doesn't matter how powerful you are, there are girls out there that will.
What a fucking piece of shit. Arrogant fucking scumbag. And we saw you-know-who yesterday giving his old thumbs up. It's all a big joke to these fucking people. It's all a big joke. Gaslight you right to your face.
Will speak up, and I don't care if it's 10 years later or 15 years later, whenever you're ready to do it, you do it, you know, and you protect the ones that are younger than us. You protect the ones that we didn't protect before. These guys will get it in the end, because us girls are not going to sit here and just let this keep happening.
Well, that was to the point. So, but that's it. Once you're broken, you're broken. There's no fixing it. You'll never be the same way again. These things follow you around for the rest of your life. And as it looks right now is, it doesn't look like just once again, the sociopathic pedophile gets away with it once again. But if anything could come out of this, at least it'll be some understanding of the demons that are out there and what broken is. And that you can't just expect somebody who's been through stuff like that as a child. Like, the worst part of it is her, it was the third girl talking about her parent, like, what's wrong? Like, come on, man. Don't act like you don't know what's possibly wrong with your daughter here. They didn't care. They didn't care enough. They didn't care enough at the time because they were probably involved in their own fucking lives, in their own boomer lives, hanging on to whatever selfish escapades they were on at the time, you know. And that's the curse of being raised by the boomer, really. And Epstein's dead, so I guess that's one less boomer sociopath. we got to worry about. So I'm going to wrap it up here. If you'd like your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help but can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been The Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.